Now, ladies and gentlemen, Tyler was screaming too much last night. He was having a good time, so he lost his voice. So everybody, listen carefully. Put your hands together one more time for this guy.
Thank you. I feel like I sound like Josh looks. A nervous 12-year-old nervously awaiting the next phase of his life. I'm Tyler, the best man. Worst man, probably we'll see how it goes, I guess. I first want to just say thank you to Alan and Faye for everything they've done in this wedding reception. It's awesome. Yeah, give a round of applause. So Josh was actually my best man several years ago, and when he invited me to return the favor, as you can imagine, I was ecstatic. I was overjoyed, because ultimately that meant I got to have the last word, you old bastard. I don't know why, it's kind of funny, we've always been competitive, but besides the fact that he's really smart and I'm incredibly good looking, we're pretty average, or even below average in a lot of things. For instance, we give Josh a hard time for his disproportionately short arms. He's actually waving at you right now, you probably can't tell. I was reminded of this recently when we were getting fitted for our tuxes. I have a pretty average build, so for comparison's sake, I'm a 42 regular. Josh, on the other hand, was a 34 pathetic. I swear I didn't know that was a fish. Didn't know. But you know, had he not met Elizabeth, that actually would have been a pretty suitable headline for his dating profile. 34 and pathetic. Looking for anyone. Now, I don't want to give you the wrong impression. We don't always tear each other down. In fact, our friendship was really built in a supporting environment. Our youth pastor invited us, or encouraged us all to pair up and find an accountability partner. You know, someone who has your back, who you can confide in, and ultimately keep you on the straight and narrow. And for those of you who know Josh can probably assume he was a terrible accountability partner. He was the worst. He was always getting me to do stupid stuff, get me into trouble, and really just trying to bring me down to his level. So like what, 5'4", 5'5", somewhere in there? Oh, I love you, man. Oh, man. What was I going to say after that? Who knows? Shoot. 5'4". Give me a second. This is a disaster.
Thank you for doing it.
The height thing. Okay, we'll pass that. Oh, yeah, in his defense, it was hard not to do stupid stuff from a town as small as the one that we were from. They say necessity is the mother of invention, but I think boredom, like at a minimum, has to be its crazy uncle or something. Our ideas of fun included things like rivers, bridges, trains, explosives, roadkill, and shanty dancing. And if you don't know what shanty dancing is, just whatever you're picturing in your mind, like, honestly, that's probably it. Now, I could go on and on about embarrassing stories of Josh, but due to the sake of time, my voice and whatever will be left of Josh and my friendship at the end of this, I'll just rattle off a few real quick before I shift gears. When Josh worked at Jiffy Lube, he did such a bad job at guiding a driver into the garage, it literally fell down the pit. That's true. That's true. Okay, Josh has not one, but 2 stories involving helicopters chasing him down. Also true story. Speaking of stories of things that come in 2, Josh has had fleas. Twice. Josh has this amazing combination of love for gambling and an ineptitude at golf, which is why he's made over 50 golf bets and has won exactly none of them. Speaking of golf, Josh has been involved in enough pranks at our local golf course back home. that using props like paintball guns, Christmas trees, some other stuff, that they had to hire an after-hours security guard. So if 2006's unemployment rate didn't seem too bad, we kind of have Josh partially to thank. Okay, let's talk about Elizabeth. Now, I don't have any embarrassing stories because there are none about her to share, but I will say, I have to admit, I wasn't too sure about her at first. Now, hear me out. This was very early on. I promise that it gets better. When Josh dated girls before, he didn't date a lot, but when he did, I barely noticed. He didn't change his behavior in any way. He was always down to hang out, and it was almost like they didn't even exist. And, wait, Josh, did any of them actually exist? Regardless, it just wasn't that way with Elizabeth. For instance, when he was at KU Law and she was still back in Florida or in Atlanta, every night we'd hang out, he would disappear for like 30 minutes or an hour, and come to find out, he was on the phone with Elizabeth. Or when he first started bringing her back, he only took her to the nicest places in Kansas City. We weren't throwing fireworks off the bridge, we were like sipping fancy cocktails at the plaza. The plaza, sorry. So I thought maybe she was a little controlling or demanding. But then I got to know her, and I got to know them, and I realized it wasn't that way at all. It was actually very simple. These two were absolutely in love. Elizabeth wasn't controlling. These two just couldn't imagine having a day without having a meaningful conversation with each other. She wasn't demanding. Josh just wanted to give her the best experience no matter where they were. And as he should. I mean, look at them. Aesthetically, this couple has no reason to be with each other. Elizabeth looks like a supermodel, and Josh looks like he could have had fleas. Twice. Speaking of looks, with Elizabeth living in Miami, and her skin tone and her dark hair, many actually mistake her for being Hispanic. Strangers will come right up to her and start speaking Spanish. Josh may not realize this, but he's about ready to experience very similar stereotyping. They're going to New Zealand for their honeymoon, which is where they shot the Lord of the Rings films. And I'm pretty positive that just the tourists are going to give him one quick look and ask him for the directions to the Shire. If you didn't catch that reference, I think most of you did. It was from The Hobbit, because Josh bears a striking resemblance to a hobbit. But despite their visual incompatibility, these two are perfect for each other. Their charm, their intelligence, their personalities, their integrity, their love of country music, they complement each other so well. And honestly, nothing makes a best man happier than seeing his best friend happy. Alright, I'm gonna wrap this up, so bear with me. Elizabeth, you're beautiful inside and out. You have an insane amount of empathy for people, even those you just met. You're the real deal, there's nothing fake about you. You make Josh happy. And I'm so happy that to me you're not just Josh's wife, but you're my good friend. And Josh, I can't imagine not having your friendship for the last 15 years. You're my best friend and you've been there for everything. You'll drop things at a dime just to have a phone call with me, and it could be about something deeply personal or something so stupid that we leave the conversation a little dumber. I admire how you don't let things get to you. You let things roll right off your back because you have great perspective, just a positive outlook. I'm so happy for you, man. I love you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's raise our glasses to a couple who should inspire us all to be better friends, better lovers, and better humans. I said it. To Josh and Elizabeth, cheers.
speech like that. That was amazing. Show some